watching I was watching the Vince Staples interview with Sway, and bro, that's an amazing artist right there. That man is a genius, man. That's a young man too. He's a genius. Like, he's wise beyond his years, man. For real. I think if you happen to not be a fan of Vince Staples, let's say you heard of him, or you know, and you just don't like his music or whatever, you know how everybody got their own taste. But I'm gonna be honest with you, you at least gotta respect him for you at least gotta respect his mind, because that dude is a genius, man. I'm telling you. But one of the things he said that stuck out to me and really made me think was that he said basically he's never felt comfortable, whether it be, you know, family, just people around him. You know what I mean? He's never felt comfortable, and that resonated with me, man. It's crazy. You just listen to people talk. Like, that's what I mean. Like, this dude is wise beyond his years, because, you know, I'm older than him. You know what I mean? I'm 36, and he has the ability to say how he feels, to put into words how he feels in a way that I couldn't. You know what I mean? And that's one of the most amazing things about music, is when you're able to put how you feel into words. That's all we're listening to it for. Is how will you able to put your life, or how you feel, or your past, or your future, or whatever in the words, you know? But yeah, man, back to it. Not feeling comfortable. And I'm not talking about like just every now and then. I'm talking about in general. I don't think, I can't remember a time growing up where I felt comfortable. Do you know where I feel most comfortable? I feel most comfortable, I think I feel most comfortable in a room by myself with the door closed. As a kid, I used to go in a room, close the door, and once I closed the door, I felt safe. That's when I felt safe. I never felt safe with the door open. Never felt safe with the door open. I only felt safe with the door closed. I could be at home, doesn't matter where I was. Doesn't really matter where I was, man. At home, anywhere, period. You know, there were certain scenarios that made me feel more comfortable than others. You know, you gotta be, I mean, let's be honest, it had to have been, you know. But like, in general, if I'm just being honest with you, I don't remember a time that I consistently felt comfortable. I would still to this day, still to this day, I'm married, got a kid, right? And I don't have a full trust of people. I don't have now, and I understand, like, don't get me wrong, like, I understand, you know, that you're not supposed to trust everybody, right? Like, I get that, you know. I feel like, you know, that's an obvious kind of, you know, whatever. Like, I get it. But, yeah, I get it, right? But I just do not feel comfortable. I don't feel safe. And I think, and I don't have a trust for people. I would rather not be around them. You know what I'm saying? I would rather not be around people that and I can know them or not, you know. I have to brace myself for all that. And I guess that's a part of social anxiety, you know. It could be a part of it. But I can remember, it's ever since I can remember. I talked about it in music, you know. I've talked about it in music, and I've had people hear the songs that I made and approach me and say, oh man, you know, when you talked about this, man, that resonated with me. And, you know, I've heard of my music really resonating with people like in a real way. Like, but music aside, it's the message behind it. You know what I'm saying? It's the message that resonates with people. You know, at the end of the day, we can go back and forth about a lot of stuff, but it's really the music that resonates with people. But yeah, that hit me hard. I was on the way home, like not home, but I was on the way back up to my, my general work location and drop off my vehicle. And yeah, bro, that kind of forced me to really think about that. When you get used to being uncomfortable or being scared a lot, either one of those, for me, it was mostly uncomfortable. Like I just didn't feel safe, and I'm not sure. That's something I gotta bring up in counseling. But if I really look back at it, and I thought about it a lot. Like I'm just, you know what I'm saying? I second guess myself a lot, but if I'm really thinking about it, and I'm really just trying to find out where it came from, it's hard to find out. But man, it's literally since I can remember. I've felt like I didn't feel safe. I didn't feel comfortable, rather. And I would go in the room and close the door. My mom would always say, "Stop closing the door. Let some air in the room." Whatever. Musty ass little boy type shit. You know what I'm saying? For y'all that got sons, y'all know what I'm talking about. Your son will sit his musty ass in that room and just let it it'll smell like an old foot in there. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, but I'm in there, door closed. My mom always open the door, up until I moved out of my parents' house. That's how it was. Open the door, you know what I mean? I wasn't with it, like, what? Like, I was more comfortable with it that way. If I had to open my door, then everybody comes into my space, everybody's part of my space, you know what I mean? Then that's a whole thing. But it's not supposed to be that way. You're supposed to want to talk and be around the people around you, you know what I mean? Your close family, whatever, friends, whatever. And don't get me wrong, it was easier with friends, right? Because, I thought a lot about this too, with friends, you can pick them. You get what I'm saying? You can pick your friends. You don't pick your family. And that's okay, but I'm just saying, you don't pick your family. Your family is your family. You know what I mean? And that's that. Like, for me, that was cool. I remember like an extreme discomfort opening my door. I just remember not being comfortable with my door open. So I just thought it was crazy that he brought it up. Uncomfortable in lots of different social situations. I can't quite get right with that. I'm struggling. I'm trying to make myself have a birthday party next year. I don't have enough of a want to be around people. Like I said, I don't really trust people. If the more people around, like the way I look at people is, the more people around me, the more people I bring into my life, the more issues happen. I'm that kind of person, like I'm quick to let you know, like, oh, you got into it with old boy? You know what I mean? Oh, you did? Like, okay, well, I could have told you he was going to be like this. And don't get me wrong, I'm a great judge of character. But I tend not to say anything unless I think it's going to be negative. Like, I don't have anything positive to say about that. And just because I have negative things to say doesn't mean I need to say it. I'm all about energy. And as much as I don't want my energy messed with, I don't want to mess up anybody else's. When you have anxiety, the one of the downsides, just to be honest with you, is if we tend to want to hide from things that give us anxiety, as opposed to living in them and taking care of them and handling them head up, right? Picking and choosing the things you wanna handle head up, right? If these people come around, like I might not want to leave the house, and it'll get weird. It's like, bro, you gotta leave the house. You got a wife and a kid. You gotta leave the house. It's hard to, because I know where there's people, there's room for error. There's room for somebody to fuck something up, something to get shot up, an issue come about, and I gotta usher my family up out of there, and just anything. All the things that I want my family to be, safe from, I might have to. I'll tell you one thing, bro. This highway is good for an out of nowhere stop. But no, I might have to usher my family out of a place. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. The fears, I don't want to put my fears on other people, or my anxiety on other people. When they say, if you ever heard the term black people use, it's a term that older black people, I'm not sure if younger people use it, but it's a term older black people use. And they say, I got bad nerves, like my nerves bad. Like, and you normally see them, they'll smoke a cigarette or something because their nerves is bad, right? Well, what that turned into in later years, right, my generation, it turned into weed smoke, right? Turned into pills, shit like that. A lot of my friends that are quote unquote, people around that's quote unquote addicted to weed and all that, they're running from trauma or anxiety or something, right? Depression, something. And if they don't say that they're running from that, then in their mind they're not. It's not real. It's only real when you talk about it, right? When you give it power, it's real. So one thing I learned is I have to talk about how I feel about stuff. Don't worry about if you think somebody's gonna think that you are, are you soft or whatever. That don't matter. You have to, at some point in time in your life, you have to assume that you are smart enough and a good enough person that you put good people around you that you can trust with your emotions, right? Or how you feel. As a man, everybody tells you to not show emotion. Everybody does. And then you hide it, and then you go kill something, right? You go lay something down, or you go beat something the fuck up, right? And then you're in jail. And you can't see your kids. You know what I'm saying? You can't, you whatever. And it doesn't even have to be on any type of street shit. You hold stuff in, right? And you're in high school in Georgia, right? And you bring your dad's gun to school and you kill people because society told you to hold stuff in. You get what I'm saying? I guess you got to teach your kids that society is kind of like music, right? Where you can't, you be in society, not of society. You feel me? I like to be in things, not of things. Like, you know what I'm saying? But if it's important that if you feel the same way I feel about stuff, if you know what I'm saying, you get anxious around people, you have to understand that trying to be like what ends up happening when you get anxious, you know what I'm saying, around people as a man sometimes, depending on what you've seen and what, whatever where you come from, we have a tendency to be overly aggressive, and that leads into situations where you fight more often, you get into disputes more often, you might start keeping a gun on you, right? Because for some reason you're prone to that. you're prone to violence. So now you got to make sure you're protected. And it's all because you didn't voice how you feel and talk about it. You might find out that this is just excessive aggression because you're feeling a feeling and you want to hide behind it, and you think people might think you're soft if you talk about it. So you want to show extra aggression and shit like that. A lot of people have that. Most of these people, bro, that as you get older, you realize like most of these people around you that are extra tough guy, these people have, you know, mommy or daddy issues or personal issues or trauma, shit like that. Depression, ADHD, severe social anxiety, severe anxiety disorders, just different things like that. And they go unchecked. They go undiagnosed, but also untreated, mostly untreated. People are quick to find out what they got, but they're not quick to do the work. They're not quick to go learn about the effects that it has on their life. Learn about the mistakes you make. Like when I have anxiety issues, right? Social anxiety issues, I get very, I always feel like I'm put on the spot, and I react a lot more aggressive than I'm supposed to, right? And then you end up in a scenario, and I told you in a recent video, the most masculine thing I saw as a kid growing up were grown men, shaking hands, sleeves rolled up, shaking hands, handling disputes, talking to each other, and the shit get fixed. And they shake hands and they whatever, and it's over. You know what I'm saying? That was literally the most masculine shit I had ever seen. That's the only people I ever seen do that at that time were 3 or 4 times my age. And then here comes my generation, right? Here comes my generation. We're quick to pick up guns, quick to shoot, and all that type of shit. That's all we want to do. I mean, that's just how the world is right now. You can't really fix that. But I tell you now, if you were to snap your fingers and cure all mental health issues, I guarantee you the murder rate in every city would go down dramatically. Assaults would go down, robberies would go down, a bunch of things. There are people that cannot keep jobs, bro, because they are not good around people. They can't stay in school because they're not good around people. They're too aggressive. Their mind they can't properly get their feelings out. You know what I mean? And people don't talk about it. Listen to these songs, bro. You got artists out now like YBN Namir, you got Polo G, you got Rod Wave, you got Cuddy, it's a gang of XXXTentacion, rest in peace. Bro, I'm missing a couple other ones, but you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of artists out there right now that discuss like mental health and like what kind of where they are in life and what's going on. And that type of stuff was not around when I was young. So for me, to be real, like we didn't have anything to listen to. Nobody talked about it. You know, most African American people did not discuss mental health at all because it wasn't something that was, I don't know, we felt like we could pray it away. It just wasn't a real thing. You know, so I know a lot of black men, a lot of men in general that cannot do social interactions constantly. They can't do a lot of that stuff. They can't do all that tough discussion, sit down and have an emotional discussion about how somebody feel. They can't do, like, I know people that can't talk to their significant other because they don't know how to process emotion. They don't know how to make her feel comfortable. They don't know, they're not hugging and kissing. That's not a thing for them, right? I had to, when I met my wife, I would say she liked to hold hands, you know what I'm saying? So I kind of got myself into holding hands with her. Before her, while I'm holding a girl's hand, I'm just waiting to take it out of her, to unhand her, like, you know what I'm saying? When I was holding a woman's hand, I just couldn't, you know what I'm saying? I couldn't do it. It messed with me. Excessive hugging messed with me. All that type of stuff messed with me. I could not do it. And I'm not sure exactly what it was, but I just didn't like it. I don't like people touching my neck. I don't like none of that. Like, stay off my neck area. I don't like things on my neck. I don't like, you know what I'm saying, nothing. I don't like any of that. Haven't since I was young. Since I can remember, like, you know. So whatever it is what it is. We'll see about whatever it is in counseling. The people I'm scared for, though, y'all, are the people that do what I used to do, right? And what I used to do, and I had it real bad, and I kind of still do it, I ain't gonna lie. But like, I don't, not, like, I need to make sure, 'cause everything's more important to me now because I have a son and I'm married. I have people that depend on me. So now I have to say, oh, this is important. I have to make sure that I don't sell myself short. But me personally, just like most people on earth, we know people that have things 20 times harder. Don't look at a homeless person when you're driving down the street or walking down the street and think, oh, I got it good, and then completely push to the side your mental health. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't let there be a friend you have, right, that maybe that friend doesn't eat dinner every night because they don't have enough money to eat dinner every night. Or you got a friend that both of his parents are gone, right? You're young, both his parents are gone, whatever, right? And he has to go live in foster care, right? Or just anything, like, you know what I'm saying? Don't let somebody else's misfortune overshadow yours and think, oh, well, they have it worse, so I have it good. You have it better, seemingly, right? But you have to make sure that you still handle your business and you take care of your health. Because if you don't, like I said, if you don't voice it, if you don't take it serious, it's not real. So then you end up spending all this time through life with these things affecting you, and they wear at you more and more, and shit gets worse. So just because you got a friend or a cousin or a brother or an uncle or whatever, whoever you're close to, or whoever you see, just because they have it worse than you or had it worse or whatever, that does not give you the right to avoid helping, to avoid basically calling out your issues and fixing them. I remember the first time that I had that happen when I was younger, because for me, I was a poster child of that. Like, to me, like I said, when I grew up, I saw a lot of people that weren't as fortunate as me, right? And I saw people around me that were more fortunate than me. So I had a variety. So for me, I always had the mindset like it could be worse. And it's true, it could be worse. But that doesn't give you that ticket, right, to be like, oh, well, I'm good. I'm fucked up, but I'm okay. I'll get over it someday. Like, nah, dude. Someday turns into you joining a gang, right? Someday turns into you going to jail. Someday turns into you having a long list of friends that passed away. Someday turns into police pulling you out of cars, beating your ass, holding you at gunpoint. Police someday turns into 30 people beating the shit out of you to put you on the set, right? All that shit, bro, like that I'll get over it one day shit, that you don't have the right to do that. From a mental health standpoint, that you don't have the right to do that. You can't just, if you do that with your life, you'll let anything you can't that's tricking yourself off the street. You feel what I'm saying? You let yourself trick yourself off the street. And that's crazy. So when you get older and you find it hard to have relationships, when you get older and you find it hard to communicate with your significant other, when you grow up and you find it hard to do just the normal shit, right? Like me, I'm not excited to do almost anything. I don't feel comfortable majority of the time. I'm usually anxious, right? But that's because I've seen shootouts, been in them. I've been in homes where people ran in and laid the whole house down, took everything. I've been in homes where a house party was going on and it gets shot the hell up, right? I've been robbed at gunpoint. I've been shot at. I've had people looking for me to kill me. You get what I'm saying? All that. This is just stuff I'm saying happened to me. I'm not saying what, you know, what I'm not even describing the negativity I put out, right? All that type of stuff. It's a whole. I've had friends turn on me. I've had all that, bro. The list goes on. So when I say, and I'm not, by no means, I'm not the toughest motherfucker in the world. I'm not saying that or nothing. I'm just saying when things happen to you, because certain situations you might put yourself in or certain decisions you make, these things happen and these things change you. These things mess with your psyche, right? 20 years later, you have to deal with them. They will collect. 20 years later, those that negativity, when you put that negativity in the universe, it will come back and collect. It will collect through your mental health. It will collect from you doing jail time. It will collect from you dying. It will collect from you getting hit, getting shot. It will collect from something happening to your friends. It will collect, bro. That shit will collect, bro. You can run from that shit all you want, but that shit will collect. That's the realest shit I ever said, bro. That is the realest shit I ever said. So to sum it all up, man, I spend the majority of my time uncomfortable, and it's better now. It's better now. I'm keeping it real. As a married man with a son, like my peace when I pick up my son and hold him, that's my peace. When I hold my wife, that's my peace. You know what I'm saying? I do more door opens now. Way more door opens. Door closed still feels good, but see, I can't afford to close my door off to my family, right? So I'm not locking doors. I just stopped locking the door using the bathroom. I told myself one day, I said, what if my family needs me, right? And they can't get into me? What if something happens and they can't get into the bathroom to come help me? You know what I'm saying? What something happened, they might need to run in the bathroom and hide, like, you know what I'm saying? Anything. That might be an anxious thought, but I'm just being honest. Like my first thought should be my family and what they need. And let that be an example, because when you're going through mental health issues and you're trying to fix them, remember you're fixated on fixing yourself. I'm not saying you being selfish, but time with your family, smiles, events, scenarios like that can pass you by, and you can't get those back. Time you cannot get back. Time you cannot get back. So I say that to say, like I said, I can care less. I don't care if you come from a war-torn country and you have trauma because of that, or you grew up and your parents was fighting each other a lot. It don't matter what it is. Seek help, call it out, make it real. Say it and it's real. Say it and it's real, period. Like, if you don't ever talk about it, if you never mention it, if you hide from the discussion, it never happened. And then you never get it fixed because it never happened. So I don't know, I'm pulling into my home my son's having a birthday get together tonight. So I'm gonna go in there and be positive and hopefully it's fruitful and all that. And just, and that's that. But I'm gonna holla at y'all.